Oh, it's not brilliant. That's Smoke on the Water. That's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Pipers, I'm sorry, I keep saying Peppers. It's Red Hot Chili Peppers. Smoke on the Water. Many, many requests for that. I've got another track here which is called Hey Jude, the Mason's Apron. I'll play that before the end of the programme. Speaking of music, no, sorry, the number to ring if you want to contact the programme, it's important to give people the information at the start of the programme in case they're stunned. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. Email address is jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. And text messaging service, for those of you who'd hoped that their lives had turned out better, it's 81771. Speaking of music, here's a gentleman here who wants a drummer. This is my last attempt, he said. Patrick Doyle. I hate to sound like I'm begging, but I am. I'm a drummer. No, he's not looking for a drummer. He's looking for something else. I'm a drummer. I've been playing for 8 years. I'm looking for a singer, guitarist, and a bass player to help me form a band. In other words, it's a man on his own, which I've been trying to form for over a year now. I'm looking to form a band that plays a style of music that can be described as Elvis metal or rocking metal. I have many different influences, ranging from Metallica, Elvis, Johnny Cash, Chuck Berry, Motorhead, Volbeat, Misfits. Well, I'm looking to make rock metal music with a 50s rock and roll feel to it. Well, good luck with that. I'm looking for any musician aged between 19 and 30. They can lie if they wish. Who'd be interested in this to contact me, and I've got a number here. A gentleman looking for a singer, guitarist, and a bass player to play music, heavy metal Elvis. Well, that would make an interesting afternoon. Another gentleman said, did you say one day that Beetlegrass are coming to the island of Ireland sometime soon? Well, as far as I know they are, but I don't know. They're going to let me know if they are coming or not. Can you please tell me when and where, and could you play them, please? And just to remind people, there's a band called Cashier Number 9 who I think are on this programme. I think they're next week. The week after next. And they're playing in Sandino's in Derry, Londonderry on Thursday the 10th, and they will be joining Snow Patrol at Ward Park this Saturday. They'll be on the second stage at 8:15. So if you want to see who they are, go along to that. Yesterday, I announced the names of the players on all the various teams competing in the World Cup, and a man writes to me and he said, I know Northern Ireland didn't qualify, but who do you think would have played for Northern Ireland if they had? Well, I have the team sheet here. It's the ideal team sheet for the Northern Ireland team. Goalkeepers, Joe Surrender, Harvey Shamfight, and Knox an Inch. And the rest of the team are Pilkington, Pinkerton, Turkington, Worthington, Robinson, Babington, Tweedy and Atkinson, MacDonald, McKittrick, McCausland and Dirk, Hamilton, Schmamilton, Donaldson, Kirk. And on the bench we have O'Lone, McAleish, McTague and O'Kane, but they, of course, will not be used. Here's a track I played the other day which a lot of people liked. I liked it too.
Take the song from the bird and turn it to words. And when you're through, you found a voice for you, like a song on the wind. My beautiful friend, beautiful friend. Take the coat of a tree, autumn's falling leaves, leave them golden fair, and that is your hair. Take the pale of the moon, dip into it with a spoon, touch the earth again, and that is your skin. Come to me again, my beautiful friend, beautiful friend. You fire, and that is your smile. Take the heat of the earth when the mountains burn, put it in a mold, and your heart you'll hold like a song on the wind. My beautiful friend, together to the end. My beautiful friend, beautiful friend.
That's a nice song. That's a song called, let me just get this right, Chip of a Star. That's right. Chip, C-H-I-P, of a Star. That's Chatham County Line, C-H-A-T-H-A-M County Line. Great band. If you want to check them out, Google them. Right, gentleman sends me, no, a lady sends me this message and she wants to know, did anybody watch the English football on the news? English footballers, should I say, on the news been welcomed in Africa? They just stood there like mannequins in the shop. And all the wee children were singing for them. They didn't even join in with the wee children who put on a display for them. They just stood there and watched them stupidly with their hands in their pockets. Well, you see, a lot of people don't realise that many footballers are not too bright or too sociable. George Best was the exception, you know. Everybody thinks everybody was as smart as George, but George was exceptionally smart for a footballer. Now, I don't usually play certain types of music in this programme, but I'm going to make an exception today. I was talking to a lady yesterday and she was asking me about shirt factories in Derry, Londonderry. She was a lady of a certain age. And all my family worked in them, and she said, "Would I play a little song to remind her of them?" And I asked her what she wanted me to play, and she told me that there was one particular song the girls used to sing. So, whilst they were working, remember, people used to be happy when they were working. So this is a song that used to be sung by the girls in the shirt factories, and it's called "Happy Wanderer."
I love to go wandering along the mountain track, and as I go, I love to sing my knapsack on my back. Val-the-ree, val-the-ra, val-the-ree, val-the-ra, val-the-ree, val-the-ra, my knapsack on my back. I love to wander by the stream that dances in the sun. So joyously it calls to me, come join my happy song. Val-the-ree, val-the-ra, val-the-ree, val-the-ra, val-the-ree, val-the-ra, my knapsack on my back. I wave my hat to all I see, and they wave back to me. And blackbirds call so loud and sweet from every greenwood tree. Val-the-ree, val-the-ra, val-the-ree, val-the-ra, val-the-ree, val-the-ra, my knapsack on my back. Oh, may I go wandering until the day I die. Oh, may I always laugh and sing beneath God's clear blue sky. Val-the-ree, val-the-ra, val-the-ree, val-the-ra, val-the-ree, val-the-ra, my knapsack on my back.
That's Kathy Byers, the Happy Wanderer. Hello, Dominic Kerwin.
Hello there.
Did you hear that?
Did I hear Valerie?
How long is it since you sang that?
Did I ever sing it?
I bet you sang that at school.
would have sang it at one stage in my life. Yes, you're totally right. So
I-
how long is it since I sang that? I'm probably talking a good 30-odd years.
I remember singing that on a school choir. There was a show that was.
So how long is it for you two, Gerry?
That was, and we had to give it up because the doodle bugs were falling, the V bombers. Anyway, Dominic, how are you? Nice to speak to you.
Good to talk to you, Gerry.
You've got a new record out. It's a very special record, Dominic. Tell me about
I
it.
have indeed, yeah. My sons, Colin and Barry and myself, have brought out a single called There's a Hero. And it's all in aid of three charities that we're doing a bit of work for. That's Marie Curie Cancer Care,
Yeah.
Macmillan Cancer Care Support, and Caris Integrated Cancer Care, which they're based in Mid-Ulster near just a place called Lochfey.
Mm-hmm.
So we brought the single out, and this is obviously leading up to a show that I'm doing tomorrow night in the waterfront as well, where I did a parachute jump a couple of weeks ago. We're doing the
not.
show in the waterfront tomorrow night and the show in Oma on Sunday night.
So the waterfront
It's all
tomorrow
in aid of
night,
the charities.
the tomorrow night, waterfront and Oma on Sunday night. Whereabouts in Oma?
We're doing a show in St. Joseph's Hall.
Okay. And you did a parachute jump?
I did indeed, yeah.
You're mad.
Well, some people would say that, but I having done it now, I'll go for it again.
Was that the first time you ever did it?
That's the first time I ever did it, Gerry, yeah. But we probably got the best Sunday of the year. It was the 23rd of May, so the weather was absolutely glorious, as it is this morning.
Well, did it take much for you to jump when you stood on the side of that plane and the boy said, where are you going now?
Well, I'll be very honest with you, Gerry, you don't jump, you're pushed out.
You're pushed? Were you ready to be pushed? Were you ready?
Pardon?
Were you ready to be pushed?
I sort of was. I was sort of last on the plane. One thing you're told is the plane does not come back with any passengers. There's only one way back.
And that's it?
That's out through the door.
Well, tell me this now. How did you feel, actually, when you realised that you were in midair? What kind of a feeling is that? Were you terrified?
It was an unbelievable feeling. As I say, the weather was absolutely fantastic. We did it up at Garva. For a second, it took a moment or two to realise we were actually out of the plane and this was really, really happening.
Yeah.
But it takes about 45 seconds of a drop from 13,000 to 6,000 feet before they actually open the parachute.
Well, what kind of sensation do you have when you fall like that? I mean, does your stomach jump or how do you feel? Does your head get light? What happens?
It was just a complete wonderful free feeling. It was a realisation that there was no way back. Things were going to plan and just hoping that parachute would open.
It's almost like taking drugs. Of course, we don't know what that's like because we have never taken any.
Absolutely not.
Of course.
Absolutely not.
So remind me again, the waterfront tomorrow night.
The waterfront tomorrow night, yes. On the show tomorrow night, we've got Gerry Marsden of the Pacemakers, we've got Les McEwen of the Bay City Rollers, PG Proby, the Merseys. Indeed, my sons Colin and Barry will be doing a spot with me, performing the new single, of course, There's a Hero. Young lady from Donegal, Elaine Boyle. And then on Sunday night, we've got a little bit more local show that we're doing in Oma, St. Joseph's Hall. And that's with a young guy called Gary Quinn, a young lady called Sinead Taggart, and indeed my own show. And as I say, all in aid of Marie Curie Cancer Care, Macmillan Cancer Care Support, and indeed Caris Integrated Cancer Care as well.
All right, Jim, I hope you have a big turnout, Dominic. Nice to talk to you again. Which track will we play? Will we play There's a Hero?
I think the people should hear it. It's a very, very strong song, and it is about hope and support,
All right, Dominic, best of luck to you tomorrow night and in Oma.
Thank you, Gerry.
See you there. Nice to talk to you.
Good to talk to you as well.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
There's a flower in the smallest garden, reaching for the light. There's a candle in the darkest corner, conquering the night. There is amazing strength and a willing hand. There are victories that you've never planned. There's a hero in everybody's heart. There's a fire inside of everybody, burning clear and bright. There's a power yourself. You can ride the wind. You're gonna take your dreams where they've never been. There's a hero in everybody's heart. Don't wanna trust yourself. You can ride the wind. You're gonna take your dreams where they've never been. There's a hero in everybody's heart. There's a hero in everybody's
That's Dominic Kerwin. That's a song called There's a Hero. What a fine singer he is. The gentleman on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry. How are you this morning?
I'm all right, thanks. Who are you and how are you?
I was just ringing in to say thanks for playing that wee song that was before Dominic's song there.
The Happy Wanderer?
Yes, it brought a smile to my face. Days of Innocence.
That's right. I think nearly everybody used to sing that when they were wee. People of a certain vintage, of course. People who are 30 listening to this will say, what? What? I love that song because it brings me back to being in choirs and stuff, you know, when you're about 9 and 10, because that was the staple. That was the staple song that everyone sang.
That was it. If you were ever lucky enough to be on a bus going somewhere along with a group of your comrades, you sang The Happy Wanderer.
And what was the best part of it?
Wandery.
Go ahead. Go ahead, come on, do the laughing. Go on. Do the laughing, you have to do it. You rang up, you have to do it, you have to do the laughing.
My knapsack on my back.
You didn't do the laughing.
How's that?
No, you didn't do the laughing, you copped out. Well, who did you sing that with? What school were you in?
Well, I was a model in a
Yeah.
and we're, going away on trips with the Life Boys and the Boys Brigade and stuff like that.
You should put an ad in the paper and go for another trip, and you'll all go to the Giant's Causeway and sing Happy Wanderer again. Wouldn't you be all about 60, would you be?
I would be of that particular genre, yes.
All right then. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it anyway. Okay.
The other one, I remember the very first song I ever sang was in the Life Boys in Noma. Was a song called "There's a Hole in the Bucket."
Dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, my dear. So how will we fix it, oh, dear Henry, dear Henry?
Dear Henry.
And it goes on and on, doesn't it?
Gerry, the song that you played just brought a smile to my face. I had a ring in, and, it brought back days of innocence many years ago.
Now that we're gnarled, twisted and grizzled, we need to hear things that remind us of when we were young and innocent and pure.
We can still laugh.
All right, then. Thanks for ringing in.
Thanks, Gerry. All the best.
Okay, bye.
Take care.
Walking through the streets of Belfast, everything seems so complete. Holding on to my coat, I had to pull it together, I guess. I was freezing, yeah. So many changes around this place I've known for 30 years. But there's one thing that you can't beat now, that's the windswept streets. But I miss you more than you know, and I feel you more than you know. Get in my car the other day, and I decided to go to the beach, check out the ocean, lap upon the shore. So I got out guess I didn't get too far because I got to see just what I wanted was the ocean. But I miss you, yeah, more than you know, more than you know. And I feel you more than you know, more than you know. I miss you more than the sun, the moon and stars. Miss you more than you'll ever know by far. Miss you more, I miss you more, I miss you more. I gotta see your face. I need you more than you know, more than you know. Said I need you more than you know, more than you know. Back in the streets of Belfast, everything seems so brand new. Let me tell you this, I gotta go for a coffee, gotta go for a walk, gotta take it all in, gotta take it all in, that's right. No matter where you go, I guess your home is your home. And I miss you, yeah, more than you know, more than you know. And I feel you more than you know, more than you know. And I miss you, yeah, more than you know, more than you know. And I feel you more than you know, more than you know. Back in the streets of Belfast, I guess that's all I've ever known. Even though the streets are busy, I feel so all alone.
That's a really nice song. That's from a singer that I don't know, to be honest with you. I think he's based somewhere else, but if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will tell me. That's a fella called Stephen Maguire, and that's a song called Streets of Belfast from his album, which is called Irish Soul. Michelle writes to me, she said, this morning I was watching GMTV, getting more and more depressed about the news from Whitehaven. Suddenly my daughter burst in and said, Mummy, can I turn over? Trust me, you'll love this. She grabbed the remote control and turned over to Radio 1, Chris Moyles. I heard Jay-Z rapping over Focus's Hocus Pocus. And you try saying that. It's my favourite rock song of all time until I heard Red Hot Chili Peppers, of course, doing Smoke on the Water. In seconds, I was quite literally in tears of joy. Well, it doesn't take much for some people. I have a friend who comes to my house every 6 months for a drinking session. It takes 6 months to recover. She arrives at about 7 p.m. and we catch up. Then we have the same routine which starts at about 4 a.m. We watch Focus on YouTube and eventually chill out listening to Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2. Take notes there, please. That's how you spend the night if you don't go to bed. At about 9 a.m. we pack it in. You were talking yesterday about Bush and Umbongo. One night my friend and I ran out of wine. We only had 8 bottles. I found some vodka and, plug your ears, people who don't drink. I found some vodka, but no mixers except orange Maiwadi. Yes, we went there. Now we make sure there's at least 10 bottles of wine to keep us going. And a man writes to me about that very same topic. A man who originally used to drink vodka Black Bush and Umbongo. He said, I've changed now. I've realised that Umbongo is not good for my soul. What I do now is I drink vodka and Kiora. And he goes on to talk about, I was talking yesterday about various little hoodies and spitting. He said, I know you're adverse to saying this, but there's no substitute for ne'er-do-well lowlife. I'll be your dog. You were talking about hoodie spitting. He said, what about the other accoutrements? And I'm looking at the clock and I realise I don't have time to get into that. But I will talk about hoodie accoutrements after the 11 o'clock news, which shall conclude at about 4 minutes past 11 o'clock. See you later. Also a band coming on called I Am Not Left-Handed.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. This is Paddy O'Flaherty. The policeman leading the hunt for Bobby Moffat's killers has described his murder on the Shankill Road last Friday as a public execution. Detective Chief Inspector John McVeigh said 2 masked gunmen had shot Mr Moffat 3 times with shotguns. Police are appealing for information about two vehicles, a silver blue Skoda Octavia and a light blue Audi A4, which they believe may have been used by the gunmen. Two similar vehicles have been seized by police in the course of 31 searches since last Friday's killing. Mr McVeigh said anyone who came forward with information would be offered the full protection of the law. A car has been damaged after a suspected pipe bomb exploded inside the vehicle on the Springtown Road in Londonderry last night. A rear window of the car was smashed and the device thrown inside shortly before midnight. A number of people living nearby were moved out of their homes for a time. Police investigating the real IRA bomb attack on Palace Barracks in Hollywood in April are questioning a 48-year-old man. He was arrested in North Belfast this morning. A paramedic has died after falling out of the back of a moving ambulance in County Cavan. The vehicle was on its way from Cavan General Hospital yesterday afternoon to take a patient to Dublin when the rear doors opened. The 43-year-old paramedic was brought back to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Prime Minister is expected to arrive in Cumbria shortly to meet people affected by Wednesday's shootings. David Cameron will speak to police officers leading the investigation into why Derek Bird shot dead 12 people before killing himself. It's emerged that detectives are working with the Inland Revenue to see if there was a financial motive. EasyJet is to fit its planes with new technology which will enable pilots to detect volcanic ash more than 60 miles away. The airline has described the system as a huge leap forward in efforts to stop the disruption of flights. And now with a look at the weather forecast, here's Laurie Gilchrist.
Becoming brighter with spells of sunshine for many of us, and it will be dry this afternoon too, aside from a few scattered showers here and there, but with light winds, warm with a high of 22 Celsius, 72 Fahrenheit. A mostly fine evening to come, although showers will linger for a while, but becoming dry everywhere tonight. Some clear spells, although some mist and sea fog around the coast. Lows around 8 or 9 Celsius, 48 Fahrenheit.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
In Belfast this afternoon, motorists are being advised to avoid the lower part of the Shankill Road from around 12:45 until 2 p.m. That's due to Bobby Moffat's funeral. Otherwise, expect long delays there. Meanwhile, in Castlereagh, the Old Milltown Road is expected to remain closed for another week. That's while work continues between Beaver Drive and Grays Park. And finally, there's a 30-minute delay to this morning's Aer Lingus flight from Heathrow. It's now due at 11:15. Anne Jordan reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, Gaza. They're talking about it at a special session of the Assembly today. We're asking why. As changes are planned in the driving test, your memories of that day, triumphant and, well, less so. Those pesky flies again. Do we need Scottish-style measures to deal with them? And why holding hands is so good for you. And when did you do it last? Well, it's Friday. Join me, Hold Hands, on Talkback today at 12.
Thanks, Wendy. You can throw your sporran at the flies. Here's a guy who's going to come over and sing for us in a couple of months' time, an Australian guy. Really, really nice. Rory Faithfield. Along with another friend of his called Phil Davidson.
She squinted into the light. Those western rays were far too bright, burning on her skin. Rubbed the sleep out of her eyes and turned her back on darker skies. Said it's time to let it in. I can see you, so much better under big blue western skies. Walk the path with sunburned feet, drawn by a distant beat to the solitary shore of glistening sands, broken shells, 100,000 fare thee wells, and something new she could could not ignore. I can see you so much better under big blue western skies. I can see you so much better under big blue western skies. She squinted into the light. The western rays were far too bright on that solitary shore of glistening sands, broken shells, 100,000 fare thee wells, and something new she could not ignore. Something new she could not ignore. I can see you so much better under big blue western skies. I can see you so much better under big blue western skies. Under big blue, so much better now. Big blue western skies. Big blue, so much better now. Big blue western skies. So much better now. So much better
What's had a few drinks? Oh, that's great. That's the Red Hot Chili Peppers, of course. Hey Jude and the Mason's Apron. A gentleman writes to me called Travis Curry. He said, I heard the pipes this morning. What a truly original sound. Thought you might like to know that I heard your previous piping favourites off kilter. Yeah, I used to play them a long time ago at the Epcot Centre at Disneyland in Florida during a family holiday in November 2006. That's how they've fallen. My aunt, a Belfast expat living in Houston, Texas, loved them and sat through the whole show. He says, is this your greatest ever achievement on the radio, championing these guys? No, I have to say, it's high up there. But my greatest achievement, of course, was obtaining wipes for Northern Ireland people to run over their fingers after KFC. And then there was that heady moment when I brought down the price of bread marginally. I've got about 20 or 30 emails here want to repeat the Northern Ireland team for the World Cup. I don't normally do this, but I will actually. This is the team that would have gone if we had qualified. Goalkeepers. I don't like repeating. No, I mean, that's so many people. Goalkeepers: Joe Surrender, Joe Surrender, Harvey Shamfight, and Knox an Inch. And the rest of the players are Pilkington, Pinkerton, Turkington, Worthington, Robinson, Babington, Tweedy, and Atkinson. McDonald, McKittrick, McCausland, and Dick. Hamilton, Schmambleton, Donaldson, Kirk. And on the bench, but only to be used in case of extreme emergency, O'Lone, McAleese, McTague, and O'Kane. Oh, I'm going to be crucified. Some other messages here. Just to remind you, we're playing Sandino's... Oh, sorry, I read that already. You're playing my brother's Stephen Maguire's song. This is Deborah Maguire. Deborah Maguire, he is touring in Canada at the moment, but is home now and again in Belfast. It was great to hear it. That's the gentleman who sang The Streets of Belfast. And I was talking about hoodies. This man says, no more Blackbush and Umbongo. I'm on vodka and Kiora. You were talking about a hoodie spitting. I have accessories perhaps you should refer to. Hoodies, 1, neck tattoos, 2, shell suit bottoms, 3, bum fluff acne, and 4, dog. The dog will be a shark in a leash, that is Rottweiler, Mastiff or Staffordshire Bull Terrier. But now these dogs, status symbols of the ghetto experience, have been pseudo-neutered and cosmetically at least demasculinized. How? They don't have their tails docked. Is there a more stranger sight than said breeds with long waggy tails? This is a useful yardstick should you feel like confronting a spitting hoodie with a wheelbrace. If his tongue has a tail, if his dog has a tail, he's not hardcore. Feel free to thump him. No, we don't thump anybody on this programme.
All this pain, dressing up in them party clothes like nothing's changed. Baby, you can fake a smile, but I can see the truth. Something bad happened here. Okay, there's nothing you can do. You gotta cry it out. Sometimes you gotta scream and shout. Get mad at God. See the devil at your heels, and you won't slow down, chasing you from bar to bar, all over town. The only way to break the spell is to say what's what, but you're already in living hell. Hey baby, now give it up, you gotta cry it out. Sometimes you gotta scream and shout, get mad at God. For I
That's Paul Brady, of course. That's from his new album, which is called Hooba Dooba, for reasons best known to himself. And that song is called Cry It Out. No, is it called that? Let me see. Cry It Out. Yeah, that's what it's called. Gerry, have you ever heard I'd Like to Go a Wandering in German? I heard it in German and it sounds better. Yes, that's, of course, The Happy Wanderer, also known as I'd Love to Go a Wandering. And it was recorded by a German choir. I think they called themselves the Wuffenpuff Choir. Oh, sorry, maybe not that. If you can find it, please play it from Daniel Shaw in Dunloy. And please play a request from Dolores Pickerington of Anna Hilt. Happy 30th birthday. That's from her husband, Derek. And here's a gentleman who confides in me. And sometimes, people write to me and they have to tell me things that are in their heart. And this is a story of a night out in Bangor, from a man who probably would rather remain nameless. He said, I went out to celebrate my birthday the other week. Returning back through Bangor at midnight, I peered through the window of a nightclub to find it surprisingly crowded for a Monday night. Flipping the stout doorkeeper a shilling to mount my cane and cape, I ventured inside. The place was fairly heaving with dreadful young people. Most of the girls were dressed in similar fashion, long floral print dresses and strappy heels. Nice, but their hair had that wild Amy Winehouse, artificially distressed look, something involving a flat top and big sides. They were wearing lots of bright, bold, unnecessary lipstick. Gilding the lily, I thought, in many cases, a cross between classic Laura Ashley with hair and makeup by their 5-year-old sisters. The fellas were dressed in identikit fashion too, skinny jeans, polo shirts with random numbers and letters printed on, or lumberjack shirts. I hope they didn't pay too much for them. If so, then maybe they should all club together and buy in bulk. They'd save a fortune. They also had that carefully wild "There's Something About Mary" style hair. I, of course, was dressed in timeless style, my dark velvet Louis Farrow jacket, which I got cheap on eBay because the woman selling it spelled Farrow Ferraux. My early 1990s Ben Sherman shirt with its many tiny squares of blue. My smart brown Element skateboarding trousers, which I got from the bargain rail at TK Maxx, and let not any man say a word against TK Maxx. My tan brown Marks and Spencer shoes. I couldn't find my Clarks. I'm giving you a mental line drawing here. You have to fill in the technicolor detail from the pastel palette of the art box of your imagination. I'm sure your inward eye will be seeing a pretty impressive image right now. Look at me. I cycled up to the bar and bought a whiskey, over £3. Not shy. They should have a hoist to lift you up by the ankles and shake the money out of your pockets. Then to the edge of the dance floor. A seated young blonde lady looked at me and smiled. Then she turned and said something to her friend. I don't know what it was, but I didn't like the sound of it. Then she looked back and smiled again. I didn't talk, because I am naturally shy, and there was a great big, high, medieval sort of a table between us, surrounded by many other young women who looked identical. Like a banqueting table. Later on, one of these young women tapped me on the shoulder and pointed to her blonde friend. I've no idea what this meant, but I wasn't about to dive over a big high table and ask, how's your father? Is your mother still working? It would have been easier to crawl underneath anyhow, though possibly less socially acceptable, and they might have thought I had drink taken if I crawled along the floor. I noticed everybody was drinking wine. I asked this long, narrow streak of a girl why she drank wine. She told me it was because wine was half price. By the glass of the bottle, I said. Oh, by the bottle, she replied, as if this were the query of a fool. So I bought a bottle of rosé, Californian Zinfandel. Don't know if you tried this stuff, but it's a syrupy sweet concoction, the sort of wine you might serve to toddlers at a kid's party. That's, of course, if it wasn't 10% proof. I'd already had a few drinks at the pub, so I was soon rather merry. I danced a bit, or rather moved my legs rhythmically on the spot. However, I soon noticed something terrible. No one on the dance floor was dancing either. They were posing and taking pictures of each other, or of themselves, with their camera phones. They would move a little, stop, snap, move, stop, snap, until they get fed up and did something else. When did this start? I went out clubbing last year, and young people were still dancing in a fairly unself-conscious fashion, collapsing on the floor when the drink got hold. There was one young beanpole fella in spray-on jeans, white sneakers, a tight green top, and Sonic the Hedgehog hair. He was acting as a sort of paparazzo for a blonde girl beside me. She could dance a little. Then she would dance a little, then pose with her hair all flicked up and her hand behind her head in faux model fashion, whilst he grinned boofishly and took photos of her. Now, I'm no DCI Gene Hunt, but such a bloke should pack up whatever he has and resign as a member of the male sex, no? I sank back the bottle of wine in about 15 minutes. Went to the bar for a second. Memory started to become a bit hazy at this point. I remember the girl who was smiling at me earlier, dancing with me, but she was taking pictures of me as well, so I went off for her in disgust. Plus, she was very small and I am very tall. And by that stage, I could only focus on things which were close to me, due to the effects of the Zinfandel. Some other people took pictures of me or posed with me in a group portrait, presumably because to them I was a character. I suppose these had been added to some social networking photo gallery somewhere, dear Lord. I saw him taking photographs of that little Asian bloke who goes crazy on the dance floor too. He's a character as well. The last thing I remember is necking wine from the bottle and smiling at the bouncers as they eyed me warily. At this point, everything blacks out. When I woke next day, I was still drunk. Later, I would discover that I had withdrawn all the money from my bank account. Thankfully, I found most of it in my wallet, but not all of it. I also learned some information by 9-year-old neighbour, Hungarian Matty. He told me that I woke him and his mum, a Zassunzunsana, with a mixture of my roaring and singing. I then collapsed against a car, lay down on the road for a while before crawling indoors. I had to apologise to the two of them. I probably woke the rest of the street up too, but I'm not apologising to them. If I can't remember it happening and they don't mention it, then it didn't happen. It sounds to me like a great night out. This is Henry McCullough, failed Christian, in response to many requests, I have to say.
I'm a failed Christian, I don't go to church. I smoke and I drink and I lie and I curse. You never got to me with your sermon and all. When you talked about nothing at all. I'm a failed Christian. Two recollections, taking the collection, and tears when the choir sang in harmony. It scared me half to death, I swore as I laughed. An inside pocket full of change and memories of my failed Christian. I'm a failed Christian, I got my own church. I swear in my soul to this great universe. All over the world, the blood's on their hands. Religious instruction I can't understand. I'm a failed Christian. I'm a failed Christian. I'm gonna make my maker a firm believer. Spirit and music, there's a prayer in the song. I'm a failed Christian, and if I'm going to hell, well, you're going with me, that much I can tell. I'm a failed Christian. I'm a failed Christian. I'm a failed Christian. I don't go to church. I smoke and I drink and I lie and I curse. You never got to me with your sermon and all. When you talked about nothing at all. I'm a failed Christian. Failed Christian. Failed Christian. Failed Christian. I'm a failed Christian. Failed Christian. Failed Christian. Failed Christian.
Right, that was, I don't know who that was. I'm joined by a band called I Am Not Left-Handed. And could you just tell me, you're Catherine, are you?
I am indeed, I'm Catherine.
And what's your name, sir?
Daniel.
Now, the first time I heard you, it was a single, it was called Boats, was it? Swept Away?
Yes, Boat just back for 8 dates.
Yeah, we kind of, because our drummer's actually English and we met over there and kind of been playing together and things. But then when we did our first EP, we just sent it to the Dublin Phantom FM, which used to be a pirate station back in the day when I was growing up in Dublin. So we kind of randomly thought we should send it back to Ireland, even though we'd kind of left, not under a cloud, but I mean, we'd kind of been in Dublin for a few years. And then.
So when did you say you left Belfast? When did you leave?
When I was 7 years old.
7? What year was that?
1987.
87. That's a good time to leave Belfast.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Dublin.
What do you remember of it? Do you remember like troubles, that kind of thing? Do you remember?
No,
hassle?
but it's funny. I don't remember a whole lot. I remember all the parks because my mum took me to the playgrounds and things, and the wave machine in the Shankill Leisure Centre. It's definitely one to remember. Nothing like that kind of Dublin. Yeah, yeah.
The wave machine in the Shankill Leisure Centre.
Yeah, yeah. Brilliant. I'm assuming the waves are probably smaller relatively now, but.
So you're from Belfast. Your drummer's from he's English,
He's from
right?
Cornwall.
And Catherine,
From Mayo.
From Mayo, whereabouts?
Yeah, from Ballina.
You are now, you?
I am.
Really?
Are you going to tell me you're related to someone in Mayo?
No, I'm not going to say that.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
But how did you all meet up?
Daniel and I were working together in Dublin when we were in college and just started small bands together, but we would have been like 18, 19 and we really weren't very good. Yeah. So I moved to California in kind of 2003, 2004.
Did you?
I did. And when I got back, I was sort of at a loss. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And Daniel was like, why don't you just come to London and maybe we could play some tunes? And it stuck. It was great. You know, there was the two of us. We had another guitarist for about a year. And yeah, we picked up Ben and it was fabulous. So how could I leave? So
was California, was it a disappointment to you? Was it a bad time for you? Or?
Oh no, I loved California. It was amazing. I only left because my visa expired.
You had to go.
I had to leave. They kicked me out. I was like, oh, harsh. But no, I love to go back. I go back maybe every other year. So
it's great to know that countries don't want you.
Yeah. You know, they had this whole speech about being Irish and welcoming, but it didn't pan out.
Why did you not go in on, like everyone else, why did you not go in under the radar?
I'm too honest. Painfully honest.
There's so many people in America that can't come home in case they don't get back.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Well, we have green cards now, which is quite nice.
Oh, have you?
We
Yeah,
do.
green card lottery.
Yeah.
Not easy to get that.
So,
well, tell me about your music. Do you write all your own stuff?
It used to be just me writing them and I'd bring them to the bands. But I think these days, because we've been playing together more and because we're a better unit, it's more that sometimes I'll have a guitar riff, sometimes Daniel will have a bass line and we just kind of bring it to each other and kind of the songs grow from there. And then we just bring what we have to Ben and if he likes it, we know we're onto a good thing. So
okay. Well, would you like to do something for us now and tell us what it is,
yes.
perhaps?
We thought we'd do, seeing as this is a homecoming, we thought we'd do The Place That Won't Take Me Back.
Oh, thank you.
2, 3, 4.
So the lands of old browns know, but faces trace like ones I know. See me walk by, so I talk of hillside views I'll miss, and each time you're lying I'll listen. At least I'll try. 'Cause when I walk it's taking me back, and when I watch I'm on fire, from the church to the railway track. But to talk is dressing cracks, 'cause when I watch I'm on fire, but I'd watch it on fire, the place that won't take me back. So the lands of old browns new, but faces never change their view. Just trick your eyes, 'cause when I walk it's taking me back, and when I watch I'm on on fire. From the church to the railway track. But to talk is dress and cracks. 'Cause when I watch I'm on fire. But I'd watch it on fire. The place it won't take me back. It's by my side. It's by my side. 'Cause when I walk it's taking me back. And when I watch I'm on fire. From the church to the railway track. But the talk is dress and cracks. 'Cause when I watch I'm on fire. But I'd watch it on fire. The place it won't take me back. The place it won't take me back.
That's really nice. That's really nice. You don't need a drummer at all. It's always a mistake for a drummer not to show up, isn't it? You actually sound like a naturally acoustic group, you know, kind of in a way, but no, I know you probably don't see yourself as that.
I don't. I used to play a lot of acoustic guitar, and it was kind of a happy accident. I hurt the tendons in my left arm, and it's actually, I can't play acoustic guitar anymore, but it means that I play louder electric guitar, which makes me happy anyway. So
Just looking at your guitar, what a lovely guitar that is. What is that?
it's a Gordon Smith.
I've never seen that before. It's beautiful.
Each one is handcrafted, which
What?
is quite nice. So they're all like slightly different. The bodies of each one are like a slightly different wood. So this one, like I tried out 2 or 3, and this one was just perfect for me. So
Oh, it's beautiful. Handcrafted?
yes,
Is that a lizard?
it is. That's my gecko. I take him for a look.
It's a little, I was worried in case it was real.
Spring off across the room.
That's a very well trained gecko if it's not moving.
Listen, have we caught you at the end of a short tour, or are you in the middle, or what?
We've got 2 more shows. We're in Limerick tomorrow night, and then Mullingar is the last one on Sunday.
No more shows in the north, but you've been here already, haven't you? Where
Yeah,
did
we
you play?
played in the Bunker on Wednesday night
Uh-huh.
with Kitty and the Canopers and Paul Shevlin. And it was just, they've completely redone the Bunker. It's a lovely venue now. It's just
Really?
it's all
I
black.
haven't been there.
There's a beautiful red velvet curtain behind the stage. It looks amazing now. Because we were in before, and it's quite like a springy metal stage, and we were bouncing up and down
Yeah.
unintentionally.
You're not used to
Kinda
such
curious.
luxury as a velvet curtain.
Yeah, no, it's-
Well, are you signed with any label, or are you just kind of wailing in the wilderness?
We had a label, a little indie one called Letterbox Records, and it wasn't that it worked out. He started moving house, and
Yeah.
kind of the label collapsed in and of itself. So we started releasing things under our own label, but actually it's worked out really nicely for us, just in terms of having control of what we do and when and where we send it and stuff. So
Well, the first I heard of you, that single, is Katrina. What's that called? It's called Swept Away Boats. What's it called?
there was a demo version called Boats But Not the Ocean, and then we shortened it to Boats Swept Away.
I loved that.
Oh, thank you.
I really did love that. Would there be? I shouldn't put you in the spot. Can you do that?
We could give it a fair go.
Would you mind?
Yeah.
I don't like asking you to
We
do
will
it.
miss
Maybe
the
you
drummer,
haven't thought
but
of
we'll
it. I
give it a
really like that. Thank you very much. Is that for sale, by the way? This, what you're doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Demo, or can you get?
No, this is our second EP, Time to Leave. It's on sale on our website, imnotleft-handed.com.
Well, we'll tell you all. To give me all the details after. Okay.
Make a wish on whispered stars for a bold and faster car, and wait, see if it comes true. For a house on distant streets, dream of nights in softer sheets. There's beach, we'll wait, so no. You're tired, so leave it to the tide and that next light. When weather weather's red, come sailing home, let the dark subside. Just leave it to one side, I'm on your side. When weather's red, come sailing home again. Walk the land and see the shore. Think of less and want for more. And wait to keep the grey from blue. In a house on distant streets, someone dreams a distant beach. And wait, they wait. So I know you're tired. Just leave it to the tide and that next light. When weather's right, come sailing home, let the dark subside. Just leave it to one side, I'm on your side. When weather's right, you'll see it swept away. You'll see it swept away. You'll see it swept away. So I know you're tired, so leave it to the tide and that next light. When weather's right, come sailing home, let the dark subside. Just leave it to one side, I'm on your side. When weather's right, you'll see it swept away. You see it swept away. You see it swept away.
That's really nice, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Funny, your two voices are completely different, but they really complement each other in some strange way.
It's it's blind luck, but people have said that to us.
Do you know who you remind me, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, and you remind me of, and it's a group that maybe a lot of people haven't heard of, the American couple. Did you ever hear a band called the Weepies?
No.
Another name.
Check them out.
Okay, I will do.
No, check them out, they're really good.
Awesome.
So where can people get your music?
I am not lefthanded.com because we discovered sort of some people like to go through MySpace and some people like to go through Facebook. So I am not lefthanded.com has links to whatever site you would like to see. So that's the place to get us.
So what's the origin of the name?
I was left-handed when I was little.
And you're not anymore?
I'm not. I had very enthusiastic schooling, and they thought I would do better in the world if I was right-handed. So
really?
I was encouraged to be right-handed. So.
And did you not revert?
Well, I was very little. I was barely 4 when I started school, so I didn't really know enough to kind of protest. So I just kind of went with it. I thought, well, these people seem to know what they're talking about, so.
It's very unusual to do that, isn't it?
It is. She, I think it was a throwback maybe to an older era, but she meant well. She was lovely. So,
yeah, people who were left-handed used to be called sinister because that was the word for.
It's true.
I think it was a Latin base. And you're now ambidextrous then.
I'm right-handed for everything except things that I wouldn't have done in school, like dealing cards and things like that.
All right.
It's a happy mix.
Well, are you going to go up and see the Weighing Machine on Shankill Road today?
I think we've got the afternoon off in Belfast. I think how can we say no? I've talked about it at length. It's definitely
it's really sweet touring with Daniel because when we drive around, he's like, "Oh my God, I remember being there, and there was a shop there, and they sell the best sweets, and it's all kind of like from the point of view of a 6-year-old. It's nice."
Well, actually, to be quite, maybe today is not the best day to go up. not today, but I'd leave it tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff happening.
Grand.
Listen, thank you very much for coming in. Any word of you coming back here again? Or
We
no
do. I
idea?
think we're coming back in August because we're going to America in September for an acoustic tour and things. So before we go, we'd like to kind of do another Irish tour if we can fit it in.
Well, let me know when you're coming back. I'd like to have you in again because you're nice people.
Thanks very much.
You're very nice to talk to.
And you're very good.
Oh, thank you.
Would you do one more for us?
Sure, we could do it alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can go home then.
Or out to a park. It's nice weather.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, no, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This one's called Alone. It's not so bad alone. My fridge makes a noise that lets me know I'm home. And the milk in my bones says this isn't the darkest night I've known. I know that this isn't the darkest night I've known. I'd walk some miles to sleep, but there's nowhere to run and no lights on my street. My shoe at the stone says this isn't the darkest night I've known. I know that this isn't the darkest night I've known. I know that this isn't the darkest night I've known. And this is where I'll lie this whole night. The fire and the sigh through no light. And this is where I'll hide. And this is where I'll hide. It's not so bad alone. My fridge makes a noise that lets me know I'm home. And the milk in my bones says this isn't the darkest night I've known. I know that this isn't the darkest night I've known. I know that this isn't the darkest night I've known. And this is where I'll lie this whole night. The fire and the sigh through no light. And this is where I'll hide. And this is where I'll hide. And this is where I'll lie this whole night. The fire and the sigh through no light. And this is where I'll hide. And this is where I'll hide.
I get some glory bound. I get some glory bound. I get some glory bound. Yeah, I'm glory bound. I get some glory bound someday. Ain't any heavy load. 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 I'm walking down a lost highway.
That's a fellow from Belfast called Tony McLaughlin, who's been based in Germany for a while, but I think he might be back now. I'm not quite sure. That's a song called Glory Bound. And thank you to I Am Not Left-Handed. I really enjoyed them. And Michelle says, my daughter said to me, I want to grow up and be a drummer. She said, you can't do both. And she also says, yes, thank you, Michelle. She'd give her right hand. She'd give her right arm to be ambidextrous. Yeah, thank you. And Michael from Belfast, that young lady inside, she said, there's a book called Musicophilia, written by a group of professors who deal with conditions like the young lady has. A friend of mine had it, and this book and its exercises helped. And Gerry, when you're on, will you please bring back that Martin man whom you were talking about lawns yesterday? You talked over him the last time on your show, just a couple of mornings ago. He was so good and so practical, and you were very rude to him, and I couldn't hear what he was saying. Well, he was talking about lawns and grass. You see, my eyes glazed over. I'm terribly sorry. And here's the last word from a man who's very upset. I've known a woman, he said, 13 years my senior, for a long time, and I've just got wind that she's on the market. Although I didn't like the thought that she is now for sale. She's just recently given husband number 3 the Spanish archer, known as Elbow. And at the age of 44, that's more tinkering than even Claudio Ranieri did in his brief time at Stamford Bridge. So, with predatory instincts like a hovering kestrel, I felt it was time to move in for the coup de grace, when much to my chagrin, her friend, who I was hoping would betray her and set me up, dropped the bombshell. She said, she's seeing a younger man. She's a cougar! Ye gods, I screamed, and what had looked like a date with a bow on it was now denied. There's nothing the buzzard dislikes more than biting into a glass eye. However, I see there's now a TV show called Cougar Town on Sky, detailing the trials and tribulations of Hollywood A-list actresses like Courtney Cox out on the pull. Has it come to this, that middle-aged women, libidos exploding like snipe out of a bog, are to be glamorized? Yet when a middle-aged man tries to woo a younger strumpet, he is not a cougar. He is called a lech, and in extreme cases, a dirty old man. I demand male emancipation. It's the least I can expect. I've paid my taxes. I bought my stamps. So I want the BBC, he says, to make a male version starring you and Sean Coyle, traipsing around the bars of Stoke City, lusting after younger women. We do that anyway. Would it attract a mass following? Who knows? What's good enough for the goose is good enough for the cougar. Well, okay, well, I'd put that to the BBC. I'd put in a submission. I'd say it might be denied. But what do I know? Right, some other messages before I go. Julie Douglas says, from Bangor originally, I've been living everywhere but Ulster for too many years now, and I'm seriously contemplating returning. I live in Killaloe in County Clare. Why would a person who lives in Killaloe come live anywhere else? Which is gorgeous, but Belfast is calling, so I've splashed out. I'm renting a house off the Lisburn Road. Anyway, I'm tuned into you on my wee radio app, and it could be your show. This is the thing that made me move back. I enjoyed the crack. Thank you so much. Not that it's helped my painting, you understand. I have 10 students coming tomorrow for a 5-day grueling course for college preparation, a sort of art prison. She's teaching people how to paint. I'll tell you more about her later. This will have to be our final piece of art for the day. Children singing rock and roll.
Saw him dancing there by the record machine. I knew he must have been about 17. The beat was going strong. Play my favorite song. And I could tell it wouldn't be long till he was with me. Yeah, me. And I could tell it wouldn't be long till he was with me. The same. Said, can I take you home where we can be alone? And next we're moving on. He was with me, yeah, me. Next we were moving on. He was with me, yeah, me. Singing, I love rock and roll. Split another dime in a jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. So come and take your time and dance with me. Come and take your time and dance with me.
I Love Rock and Roll by Children. That's from an album which cannot be got for love nor money. That's all we have time for today. Don't forget the old snail mill still works. Write to me, Gerry Anderson, care of BBC Radio Foyle, Derry, Stoke, Londonderry.